What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this time it's an educational style video where I want to talk about the whole copy strikes for dummies YouTube style. That's what I'm calling this presentation. And essentially I wanted to talk about the whole DMC copy takedown notification process in YouTube, and when someone files a manual claim against your content. I'm not going to look at content ID. I'm not talking about community guidelines. Those are separate issues. I might touch on that later on in the ramification section of this presentation, but for now we're just going to look at the manual claim process and how I've noticed a whole bunch of people are asking, how is Phil able to stream if he has 2 strikes? He should have gotten a 1-week penalty, and they cite the rules on YouTube. I'll get into that because those rules are accurate, but the issue is that they're applied differently to a partnered channel versus a non-partnered channel, and I'll explain that. And hopefully it'll clear up some of the issues or concerns people might be having towards why. So let's get into it, folks. Oh my lord, DSP made a visit. Some scumbag is breaking the law. Oh my lord. Alright, so the first one here. So your channel got hit with manual claims, which, you know, it sucks. It happens. I've had it to me happen hundreds of times in the last 3 years, and it's not fun. It's something that's very stressful, and it isn't fun, you know, I'll be honest. And mine, of course, have been false claims, and thankfully I've been able to fight them and, you know, get them removed. And, you know, don't want to talk too much about that, but you guys are aware of what's happened and what's going on. So first of all, I want to talk about what the hell happened. That'll be my first subject, and I'll talk about, you know, what happened, what is a manual claim, how does it happen, how is it issued. Secondly, I'll talk about what happens next, and then I'll talk about what I said earlier about non-partnered versus partnered and how the rules are applied. That gets a little confusing a little bit. It's a little hard to chart it out in a PowerPoint without having 15 slides. So I did the best I could, and then I'll talk through that. And then lastly, I want to have a ramification discussion. I'll talk about content ID. I'll talk about the rules of YouTube and so on, some of those kind of side conversations. Okay, so what the hell happened? First of all, what happened was someone filed a manual claim against your channel, or, you know, yeah, against your channel for content that you have that you posted on YouTube, that they believe the content in that video belongs to them. They're either representing themselves or they're representing another entity. Sometimes you get these third-party companies that file claims for people, and a lot of times it's just trolls filing false claims. You know, you guys know what I'm wearing. But in this instance, let's make the assumption that the person filing the claim is doing it for good purposes. They're not lying. They actually believe that someone used their content without their permission. Let's just assume that, right? So the content that can be claimed is music, images, videos, clips, essentially anything that you believe, artwork. If someone is showing it on their channel and they're not either giving you credit, or it's not fair use, or it's not transformative, they can file a claim. And to be honest, even if it is transformative, they can still file a claim, because I've had my videos where I've done commentary, I've modified people's faces, I've changed the voice, I cropped it, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, and I still ended up getting a strike. And you guys are all aware about that. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but yes, it can happen. And, you know, YouTube system is, their manual claim process system is terrible. And I'll get into that discussion in the ramifications section. Okay, so the claimant, what they do is they have to go in and fill out a form. They must provide the link of your video, the timestamps where the content is being used, and then they have to link their, you know, like if they made a video on their channel and it's about, you know, it's them talking about, I don't know, rap music, and then Phil decides, oh, I want to borrow that video and just clip it, he can file a claim against Phil for using his content without his permission. Now, when the person files the claim, YouTube claims they manually review everything, which they don't. There's no way they do. I believe what happens is they have a system that runs the information that you provide, and it looks at, you know, the YouTube channels, the videos, the timestamps, and if everything was okay, it'll drop into a queue, and then someone will manually review it and they'll probably just rubber stamp it and approve the strike and the claim. If it doesn't meet those thresholds, because I've seen stuff that with YouTube, when you file something, you'll automatically get a response back. And that tells me no one is manually reviewing it. It's just a bot or, some type of algorithm that's doing the search. So I think if it doesn't meet the criteria that the bot or the algorithm believes it should, it'll kick it back to the guy or the person filing the claim, essentially rejecting it and saying, hey, we think you're misusing the claim system. If you don't review your stuff and resubmit, that's what happens. That's how a claim is reviewed. It's like a one-page form to fill out. It's very easy. Pretty much anyone can do it, and you can essentially file a claim for anyone and anything on YouTube. I think for the most part, I think like 90% of the stuff that gets filed, I think it's trash. I don't even think they approve it or review it. It gets looked at, it doesn't meet the criteria, and they just reject it. But then you have that 5 to 10% that's getting funneled and getting approved, and a lot of it is just beyond ridiculous and shouldn't even meet the definition of a DMCA, manual takedown. And those are my thoughts. I'll get into that in the ramification section. But what your boy Doody wants to stay on point here and just get through these slides. Okay. So the next slide is what happens next. Okay, again, this is where I talked about how there's differences for non-partnered creators and partnered creators. So this is what happens. So the first strike you receive, so you get issued a first strike. YouTube will issue you a warning. So you get a warning. You don't get any suspensions or anything. You just get a warning, but you do get a strike on your channel. You have 7 days to counter that strike or contact the claimant and get them to remove or rescind the claim. You get 7 days. If you can't get that strike or that that claim forwarded, which means you gave a legal reason, someone reviewed it on YouTube and said, "Yep, you have a good standing. We're going to forward it back to the person that filed the form." If you can't get that done within 7 days, the strike remains and it sticks on your channel for 90 days. So in this argument, so for this argument, right? Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. Let's say that you were successful in countering your claim. So you got a strike, you filled out the form, you said, you used it in fair use, whatever the case is. YouTube will look at it, and if they approve it, they will forward the claim back to the claimant and basically saying, hey, they countered, we approved it. You have 10 days to show us, YouTube, proof of pending litigation. So the person filing the claim has 10 days to show court papers or something saying that they're going to file, legal proceedings against the person. So in this instance, let's say Phil, right? If they don't show that proof to YouTube within 10 business days, YouTube will remove the strike and you're good to go. You don't have to do anything else. The strike is removed. If they do show proof, that's the thing I don't know, because I've never encountered anyone that had that. So I don't know if YouTube shuts your channel down or if they just say, okay, well, the strike's going to stick for 90 days and they're going to see you in court. That's probably the case. That's probably what'll happen. But if you submit the counter, they don't seek litigation, then in 10 to 14 days, the strike's removed. Okay. And if it's not successful, the strike will remain on your channel for 90 days. Now, let's say in this argument, you get multiple strikes. You get 2 strikes right at the same time. The second strike for a non-partner creator, what happens with them is that YouTube will issue a 7-day ban on posting videos. You can't post videos for 7 days. That's the penalty for getting a second strike. Now, if you follow steps 2 to 5, where you get 7 days to counter the strike, if it is forwarded, then you still get that 7-day ban. No matter what, you still eat that 7-day ban, and you can't post for a week. But if you counter and it gets forwarded, like in the steps of 2 to 5, and it's forwarded, then you just have to wait 10 to 14 days to get the strike removed. And then you're going to serve that 7-day. You're going to serve that 7-day ban where you can't post videos and you can't stream. If you are not successful, then essentially that second strike is going to remain on your channel for 90 days. So now you have 2 strikes. After the penalty is applied and the 7 days occurs, after that passes, then you can still post. So if you're a non-partnered creator and you get 2 strikes and you served your 7 days, you can still post videos you after the 7-day ban. Now, let's just say that you got a 3rd strike back to back. You got 3 strikes back to back. If you are a non-partnered creator, what YouTube does is they disable your channel and it goes away. You get that 404, not the 404, but you get the little funny box that says this channel kind of doesn't exist. It's not deleted, but it's just disabled, right? And then what happens is you have to go through steps 2 to 5 again, right? Steps 2, 3, 4, 5, where you have to submit a counter and all that stuff, right? The difference here is you no longer have access to YouTube Studio. Once you get that 3rd strike within a 90-day period, you can't use YouTube Studio because everything is locked down. YouTube will force you to use email to counter the strikes. And then they have a whole thing and they show you kind of what information they need. But the problem is that takes longer than using YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio is pretty quick. For the most part, within a day, they review it and forward it. It's pretty fast. It doesn't take a week. It can take, I think they can take up to 7 to 10 days. So email is dangerous. If you get a 3rd strike and you have to do this stuff through email, you're in danger. You are in danger. So the one advice that I always give everyone is that if you are making content, become partnered. Even if you don't want to monetize or whatever, at least become a partner. You have the option of turning on monetization or whatever, but if you're a partner, you get additional security. And then that's what I will talk about. So that's the rules for the non-part. And a lot of people cite this and say, well, why is DSP allowed to post if he has 2 strikes? He should at least get a 7-day ban. Okay, I'm going to talk about the difference between non-partnered and partnered. And then let's just do the partner now. Okay, so it's very similar. The rules kind of apply. 1st strike, you get a warning. That's it. You get 7 days to counter through YouTube Studios. If you're successful, they'll forward it. 10 days for the person that filed it to show that they're doing litigation. If not, YouTube, if they don't show that paperwork, YouTube will remove the strike. You're good to go. If you're not successful, that 1 strike stays on your channel for 90 days. The 2nd strike, now here's the difference. YouTube issues you a warning similar to strike 1. So it is a strike 2, but you don't get a 7-day penalty. You can still continue streaming and posting. The only time you get stopped from streaming and posting is when you get your 3rd strike. So when you get your 3rd strike, what happens is YouTube disables your channel, but it's still visible. Everyone can go and see your channel. It's not, in the sense, they don't disable it. What they do is they restrict you from posting videos. They restrict you from doing live stream. They kind of restrict you from that. But you can still create community posts. You can respond to, you can watch videos. You can respond to your videos, all that stuff. That still applies. You're good to go. So the only difference is you just can't post videos and you can't do live streams. And then again, you have to go through the process where you have to counter. You have 7 days. And if it is forwarded, you're good to go. You just have to wait 14 days for your strikes to be removed. So being a partnered creator on YouTube gives you benefits. One, you can monetize, which is great. And the second thing is that you don't have to stop posting when you get that 2nd strike. So a lot of people here are asking, if DSP has 2 strikes, why can he post videos? Why can he stream? It's because he's a partner creator. And the 2nd strike is simply a warning. We don't get the penalty of the 7-day ban. That's why. Now, if he gets a 3rd strike, his channel gets disabled. He can't post videos. He can't live stream. But again, like I said, his channel will be visible. He can chat. He can do community posts. He just won't be able to stream, and he won't be able to post video. Excuse me, I had to drink a little bit of water. Okay, so I hope that clears it up. That's the reason why Phil can continue. He's still streaming, he's still live. That's why he's so worried getting that third strike. Because once he gets that third strike, it's done. He is, well, it's done for 2 weeks, essentially. He has to wait 2 weeks for everything to kind of clear up. If the strikes aren't forwarded, then his channel gets deleted. Yeah, it gets deleted after 7 days. If he has 3 strikes. So the rule is never have 3 strikes at the same time. You want to have at least one of them get forwarded, because if you have 3 strikes, say someone files 3 claims against you and you get 3 strikes, and let's say YouTube rejects 2 of them, your forward, your counter notification, your counter, and they say nope, it's not fair use, no, you stole that content, we're keeping the strike on. You can have 2 strikes, that's fine. You just can't have 3 within a given 90-day period. So again, that's why Phil can continue posting on his channel, and that's why he's so nervous about getting that 3rd strike. So I hope it clears it up. I hope I cleared up the differences on how the rules are applied for a partner channel versus a non-partner channel. Okay, ramifications. So again, like I talked about, this is just simply how the DMCA manual takedown process occurs. A lot of people sometimes confuse community guideline strikes, where if you get a community guideline strike, the first one is a warning. If you get a second community guideline strike, you can be banned up to 90 days from doing anything on your channel. You essentially get YouTube basically puts you in the corner for 90 days and you can't do anything up to 90 days. Sometimes it's 30, 60, 90. So those are like when you do something that goes against their community guidelines. It's not a copy strike, it's not content IDs, none of that stuff. It's you were being a turd, someone reported to you, and YouTube felt that you broke the rules enough that they're going to give you a nice little penalty. They're going to ban you for a little while. That is community guidelines, strikes. And those stay on your channel forever, especially the warning. The warning stays on forever. You get a warning, that first one sticks. It never goes away. So you don't get that benefit of, well, they went away, I got another one, that's a warning, and then the second one, you know what I mean? Like, nope, you get that one warning and that stays permanent on your record. And then any additional fractions, they give you a penalty. And if you get a lot of those community guidelines right, they just terminate you. They just terminate your channel. So I think a lot of times people get confused of terminating your channel for breaking YouTube rules and the whole content ID strikes, the DMC takedown notices and stuff. It's 2 different things. Community guideline is just you being a turd, and there's rules around that. And then the DMCA one, that we have specific rules for that. So I know a lot of people sometimes confuse and blend the 2, and that's why I said I really didn't want to get into the whole community guideline strikes. You know, that's like if you said the N-word or you just went off and went crazy, you know, you would get a community guideline strike. They shouldn't call it strike, they should call it something else. They should call it like penalty or something like that, because it does cause confusion. Now the other thing, content ID match. Now that's when YouTube's system identifies content that you use, and for the most part, say you play an NWA song for like 20 seconds on your video, YouTube will flag it. And for the most part, what they'll do is they'll either there'll be a claim where your ad revenue will go to the person that made that song, all of your ad revenue, but it doesn't impact you. You don't get a strike or anything like that. It's just a claim. It's a claim for the money on that video, and it doesn't hurt you. And you can people have multiple of them. I mean, I get them every so often. YouTube did a nice thing now where they do a share, you know, for certain music, and you know, because sometimes I accidentally play something on YouTube, it gets in my video, and then, you know, content ID flags it and says, oh, you use somebody's music, you're gonna lose your ad revenue. Now what they do is they split it, they share it, you know, and of course you can go into the video and remove it, mute it, which I tend to do, and it works pretty good. So content ID really isn't strikes or anything like that. It's just more about who gets paid for the video you posted. I'm trying to think what else. So the ramifications of this is that, yeah, if you're not partnered, get partnered. Really, I had some advice for a couple individuals that got hit recently, and what I did was I worked with them to try to get them monetized, so get them partnered, so they have that added benefit. So if you're ever considering being a YouTuber, just try to hit those milestones. I think you have to get 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours of your videos or your live stream to qualify. That's it. And then you can't have any strikes. You can't have a community guideline strike, and you can't have a claim, like a manual claim, a DMCA strike on your channel. That's really it. Someone will review your channel, they look at your top videos, and I don't even think they really do. They just kind of approve it, and you get partnered. So definitely, if you're thinking about being a content creator, at least go. If you don't see, a lot of people say, well, what's the point? I don't want to be monetized. It doesn't matter. If you get partnered, you get those benefits, and you can decide whether to turn on or turn off the monetization features. You just get that added benefit of being a partner. I know there are some people out there, like I think Piece of Peace, he's not monetized, but I know he's partnered, and it just gives him, I believe he's partnered. Yeah, I'm pretty certain he's partnered. You know, it gives them that added benefit of, you know, especially, you know, it gives you the added benefit of the strikes. The DMCA manual strikes. So definitely get partnered if you want to be a YouTube content creator. The second thing is I guess try to avoid ripping stuff and with not making transformative. I mean, you can take a segment of Phil and post it and just transform it. Add something, add some music, add some artwork, modify it a bit. You know, you just need to be able to you just need to be able to that if someone questions it, you can at least say parody. It's a parody. You can say it's a transformative work. You added something to it. Commentary is very good. Like you could take people's videos and watch them and then just comment over them. You know, you're giving your commentary. That makes it transformative. So if you're ever doing DSP detractor content, that's the advice I would give you. I would give you just to simply try to make it as transformative as possible. You know, and there's tons of content creators out there that you can follow. Memology, Aquateal, you know, they do clips. Myself, I do clips, and they transform it and they change it to the point where I think, you know, they may get strike more often than not, but I think YouTube, you know, flags that and says, no, that's transformative. We're not going to apply it. But their system isn't perfect. I really think 5 to 10% of their manual claims go through because no one really reviewed it. They just rubber stamped it and just reviewed it. I'll give you an example. I remember I filed a counterclaim one time and I accidentally pasted the wrong information. I wasn't even talking about the same videos. I wasn't even talking about the same content creators. Everything was wrong. It was different. And I like 2 hours later, I got an email that said it's been forwarded. So that tells me no one read my response. No one whatsoever. So, yeah, it's a flawed system. It's very easy to use and manipulate, which sucks. And I really think that the best way I think YouTube could handle this is that if you so when you become a content creator and you become partnered, you actually have to upload some form of ID, a photo ID. You have to make a video, self-identify, or you can just scan a picture. That you have to do that. And then what happens is they claim after 2 months they remove it, they delete it. It's just for them to confirm. Because if you become partnered and monetized, you also have to show them your tax information. You have to give them. You have to link. You have to link a bank account and so on. So they just want to make sure it's you and it's your bank account and you're not doing stuff illegally. I'm sorry. I blanked out on my point here. Oh, yeah, when you file the okay, yeah. Excuse me. I'm a little tired. Just got some medication. So, the way they can fix the system and resolve 99.9% of the false claims that get filed is force the person that's filing the claim to show ID. They make you show ID when you become partnered. They should say, okay, you're filing this claim. We need to make sure you are who you are. Show us a government issue ID. That's what they should do. That's it. That would resolve all of these problems because then they have it on file and they know exactly who it is that's filing these false claims. You know what I mean? And they're easy to identify, and it gives remedy to people that receive false flags. They can maybe file a police report, maybe they can sue, you know, and I think a photo ID would eliminate a lot of this crap that's going on. I actually talked to YouTube Legal with all my stuff, and I suggested that. I said, why don't you guys ask for an ID? And I think a lot of it is that, you know, they're trying to stick to the DMCA guidelines and the rules, and those are government issued. So I guess they don't want to mess with that and screw that up, so they're just following that to the law. But I'm hoping someone reviews it. I hope it becomes a big enough problem or a headache for YouTube that they'll decide, okay, we have to do something different. And I think that asking for ID if you're filing a claim, 99.9% of the jokesters that are filing claims will stop. They're not going to put their photo out there and risk jail time, you know, penalties and stuff like that. No, not the troll. Yeah. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe I'll do a series of these. Who knows? I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, that are my thoughts on the DMCA takedown stuff. If you agree, if you disagree, put some comments in the comment section. Let me know if I was wrong. Let me know if I said something inaccurately. If you have any questions, I'll definitely monitor it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.